Taxes east to west, sometimes you gotta suffer. But in His glory, I'm arranged, so it's not for nothing. Sword of the Spirit, word of truth, for atmospheres we're hidden. Transforming through His grace, so chaos even feels me. Supernatural, you natural, so you can't hear me. This is foolish.
This man to man.
So go on, play your kindred. Swimming pools full of sin, I guess they're jumping in. Baby faded with craters, they truck off Satan's chin.
Kobe Jackson. I see you.
They can stone me like Steven.
This man to man.
I got my mind made up.
All right, y'all do me a favor as y'all coming in. CC Heard, as y'all coming in, give me some of those thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. I need to know you're here for real.
What can separate me? Genuine distress, persecution, the famine, peril, and wickedness. We are counted as
all right.
Not about wickedness. More than conquerors.
Lee Bezel, what's going on, man? How you doing? This is God's Man on Deck. This is Pastor Fred. God's Man on Deck. Roy, David Christopher. All right, yeah, give me them thumbs up. Let me see the thumbs up in here. Stacy, and I see you. All right, Christopher, I see you. All right, LeBron, I see you. Good evening, Stacy. All right. We got some stuff we want to talk about today. This is a hard subject. This is a hard one. Might be a hard one, might not be a hard one for some people. Read what's going on.
I refuse to lose, I mean I never quit. Consequential persecutions made to build my strength. I know you love it while
Anthony Dallas, what's going on? Travis Woods, what's going on?
We've been truly sent.
B.
Separate me, shall it be distress? Persecution, the famine, peril, and wickedness.
All right. Listen. All right, this is Pastor Fred, God's Man on Deck. Pastor Fred, God's Man on Deck. It is 7 p.m. We are here. We are here dealing with everything that's going on. Still dealing with this COVID-19. Yeah, y'all give me them thumbs up as y'all coming in. Still dealing with this COVID-19 and really dealing with some really heavy issues during the COVID-19. We still here. Still dealing with some of the same things, and that's why I put the subject matter. I put it in a little earlier. Some people may not want it. They may not want to deal with it. May not want to hear it. But I tell you, if you give it a chance, if you listen, first of all, if you listen, I believe it is one of the things we really need to talk about. It is one of the things that we really need to talk about. Yeah. Hold on. Let me make sure. Here we go. Can you hear me better now? That should be a little better. So this is the thing. It's a lot going on right now. And I wanted to talk about why black men don't like, and I'm talking to specifically the black men for a moment, especially for this right here, because we deal with things different. So I put on there, why do black men don't trust, or don't want counseling? Why black men don't want, or don't trust counseling? And before I do that, I want to thank God for all of you. I want to thank God for all of you that's been getting on here and that's been checking God's Man on Deck out. I want to thank you for hitting us up on our man-to-man minutes. I want to thank you for going to the website. Listen, I need you guys to register. I need you guys to register for me. I need you guys to go to the website. Go to www.godsmanondeck.com. I need you to register your email. We want to get ready to do some things. We want to get ready for the conferences that we want to do. In order to do that, you got to know what kind of audience you got. You got to know what kind of people you want to be able to contact. And I want to be able to personally send out, what's going on, Perez Hawkins? What's going on, Yvonne? I want to be able to contact some of you brothers. I want to be able to send you some things. What's going, because you never know. You could be in the area. Definitely when we do our God's Man on Deck for our first conference. Our first conference will be in Charlotte. It will be in Charlotte, but I want you to be a part of it. In order for you to do that, I need you to go to the website, www.godsmanondeck.com. We need to see you. We want to, and ladies, if you could do me a favor, if you could take that boyfriend, that husband, that fiance, those sons, those fathers, go ahead on and register them for me. Register them. Go to the website, register their email address, and when we start sending things out, they'll start getting some of those things, and hopefully it'll help us to be able to build build up some communication between them, not just doing Thursday night, but even during the week. We want to be able to make some contact with you all, okay? So do that. Go to www.godsmanodeck.com and register. And even before I get started, if y'all would, listen, go get that uncle, go get that brother, go get, I don't care what they doing. I don't care if they smoking, I don't care if they drinking, I don't care what they doing. This is a little conversation they might need to hear. What's going on, Kate? This is the conversation that we really need to talk about. Why black men don't like, trust, or want counseling. It's deep for us. It's deep for us. Especially because of how we dealing with things now. See, during this COVID-19, there's a whole nother level of depression that just fell down. A whole other level of depression just fell, especially on us, from the way things are going right now with jobs, especially jobs, with incomes, these things that's going on right now. Things that are going on in home, and you know, as soon as the jobs get hit, the homes get hit. As soon as the homes get hit, relationships get hit. As soon as relationships get hit, the next thing you know, things is going crazy. So this COVID-19 is bringing on so many detriments. It's bringing on so many challenges to us as the community. And this is the reason why I wanted to talk about this, because it's a very serious subject. What's going on, Josh? Hey, mama, it's a very serious subject. Why don't we like, trust? First of all, as black men, we really don't even want to deal with nobody counseling us. Now, especially if our counselor is our homeboys. Our counselor is our homeboys. Our counselor is our family. Our counselor is as our mothers, our fathers, and there's nothing wrong with that. But what we're really seeing is sometimes what's going on. What's up, son? I see my son Fred right there. This is the thing. This is what's going on. A lot of times you've spoken with these people a long time, and these things are not moving. Listen, we got brothers right now that are dealing with depression, dealing with oppression. They're dealing with stuff that happened in their past, and they don't know how to get it out. So you know how we get it out? You know how we get it out as a community? Because see, as a community, we really don't deal with therapy like that. We don't deal with mental health like that. We don't deal with it. So how we get it out is we drink it out. How we get it out is we smoke it out. How we get it out is we sex it out. We do all of these things, and we try to do all of these things to fill a gap that can't be filled. When you start dealing with depression, you start dealing with those things like that, it's like trying to take a shovel and fill up a gorge. You're trying to take it can't be done. What's going on, Dewan? Hey, son. You can't do it. When you deal with depression, and I'm gonna tell you something, you know it's heavy and listen, we real in here. We real in here. We talking to all life in here. So this ain't no church. This is a man thing. When you start dealing with that and you drinking, and you done drunk a whole bottle. And you still feeling this anger. You still feeling this pressure. You still feeling it. You can't talk to your wife. You can't talk to your children. You really don't know. And then when you start dealing with these thoughts of, man, I wonder how it would be if I wasn't here. Man, this thing real. And what we think is, and listen, and don't get it twisted, a lot of people that are saved or in church or whatever you want to have it, they deal with it too. And what we have been taught, what's going on, Dante? What we have been taught is, and I see that. Dante says the want, the need to be vulnerable. We're gonna talk about these things. We're gonna talk about it today. What we think is, as a church, is that you can pray it out. Listen, I'm a praying man, but there's some things that are so pivotal. Some things you just don't know, have no way to conceive. You have no way to conceive the things that's going on. So you trying to pray something out that you can't get out. You can't pray it out. How you can't get it out. And then you go to other people's. This is why we talk about. This is when counseling is really, really serious. This is when you talk to the pastor, right? And I'm just talking about on the church side, because just on the family side, when you in the street, you'll talk to your homeboys and listen. Now you on something else. Your mind is on something else. And then now you're entertaining thoughts that you ain't never had before. You ain't never had no thoughts about no suicide. You ain't never had no thoughts. You ain't never had no thoughts about hurting nobody. But all of a sudden you dealing with these thoughts. Somebody says confess. I get it. We can get biblical. I can get biblical. But at the same time, there's some times when you need to talk to somebody other than yourself so you can get this thing out. Before I get too deep, we got graduates. Dig this. You went to college for 4 years. And it's your graduation. You've been working to walk and be celebrated for 4 or 5 years, maybe 8 years. And when this time comes, you can't even be celebrated. Let me tell you what COVID-19 has done. It has messed with a lot of people's mind. Y'all give me some thumbs up. Let me know you in here. So a lot of times we as black men, we don't want counseling because first of all, we don't trust nobody to be vulnerable. So I ask some questions. Because, and it's because now we have dealt with systematic manipulation for a long time as a black culture. As a black culture and a black people, we have dealt with systematic manipulations. In other words, when you go and look us up on the map, we have our map, and they call our neighborhoods red line. So they red line neighborhoods. This is so when you get your car insurance, your neighborhood is red line. So when they go and you tell them what your address is, because you're in a red line district, your insurance is higher. Your convenience store sells stuff that they don't sell at other stuff. Your whole community is redlined, and that ain't just people. That ain't just insurance. That ain't sales. That's also the police. That's also police activity. We have been systematically manipulated for a long time, even from the so-called. Now, I don't want to be. I believe the Willie Lynch letter is real. I believe that the Willie Lynch letter is real. I believe that. So we read a letter that's systematic manipulation to control a whole people. The thing about it is now we may not have the Willie Lynch letter that's in format now. Now we have a systematic manipulation that works on especially us as a color. Why you think we still filling up? What you think happened to a man that don't know what to do with his thoughts, don't know what to do with his depression? And he's smoking, he's smoking and he's drinking, he really don't know what to do with it. And he got this anger. What do you think? What happens to him? What happens to this man? Eventually that man does something, and eventually that man is in jail. I just thought about this. How many black men do you think that are in the penitentiary right now because they didn't have the right conversation with somebody? They didn't have the right conversation with somebody that was able to help them might go through some moment because they didn't have the mind to. Because first of all, in the black community, and especially around when you 23, 24 years old, you ain't got nobody talking to you about no doggone depression. They saying pass the J. You ain't got nobody talking to you about. You ain't got nobody talking to you about. You ain't got nobody talking to you about oppression. You ain't got nobody. So what do? Somebody said explode. Somebody say self-destruct. We've been doing it as a culture. We've been doing that for a minute. We've been self-destructing. We've been going off. We filling up the penitentiaries. We filling up the graveyards. We messing up our families. And all because, hey Corey, all because we ain't had a conversation. And that's what I'm talking about tonight. I already knew when you talk about certain things like this, certain people don't even want to hear it because it's like, I get it. The first time that it was my fiance even mentioned to me about counseling, I was like, man. And the funny thing is about it is I do premarital counseling. But when it was time for me to go and sit and talk to somebody about what was going on in the deeper inner parts of me, man, I was like, man, you know, because you feel like somebody is trying to break into your world, or you feel like, man, what are they gonna do? What is they really gonna do for me? What is me going to sit on somebody's couch, somebody who I don't know, gonna be able to speak to me about me? And what if I'm gonna be doing all the talking? What is it really gonna help? This is the thing. We don't know. So because we don't know, sometimes we don't try new things. This is crucial, y'all. This is really crucial. Because in order for us to stop some of the cycles that's going on around us, things have to change. So we don't want it. We don't want counseling. We don't trust counseling. Let's even talk about premarital counseling. It's a lot of women, it's a lot of men, a lot of women are black women. I see a lot of black women want to get in, they want the premarital counseling. But it's a lot of men don't want to. Come on, y'all, give me some thumbs up. It's a lot of men don't want premarital counseling. What? Why I need another man to tell me about my house? Why I need another man to tell me about my marriage? And these are the questions, these are the things that's in our head. And because we have all this stuff in our head, we don't go pursue it. And because we don't pursue it, we don't have success. And I'm going to tell you what counseling is really about. Counseling is about the in-between stage of practicing for progression. It's about making it out of that moment. It's about making it out of that moment when you finna get ready to leave your home, when you finna get ready to leave your children, or you finna get ready to do something that's gonna cause you to be out of your house for the rest of your life. That's what counseling does. You know why a lot of black men need counseling? Because a lot of us, our cultures were different, and we came up different, and we saw a lot of things different because of the system that we came up in. If you deal with some of the people, like the neighborhoods that I came out of, it's almost like they have some type of warfare deficit that's happening because of the things that they saw. So I had some people that jumped on, and they was like, I got a boyfriend, and he's talking about depression, but he don't want to talk to nobody. Listen, man, listen. And I don't know how many people gonna see this. But listen, man, talk to somebody. Because this is the thing about it. Most people that's dealing with like that, they got a pistol close. Not because they want to hurt somebody, but because they don't know what to do. We have dealt with systematic manipulation all our life. So that's one of the reasons why we don't trust. We don't trust specifically, we don't trust nobody that's not that color. We don't see that. And this is why something has to be done. Another young lady says, I'm going through the same thing with my husband, and I'm praying, and I want them to get help. And listen, what I'm saying to you is, listen, my brother, my sister, listen, don't be afraid to counsel. God still moves through that. He still moves through that. You ain't gonna be able to drink it out. You can't smoke it out. I tried it. As a young man, I tried it. Dealing with a high velocity of anger, I tried it. So you tried to drink it out. Tried to smoke it out. You did. You even tried to sex it out. But you know what you do? When you try all of these things, they are coping mechanisms. But they only work for the moment. And the moment that it is over, you go right back to that deep, dark cave. And there's somebody there's somebody that you need to have that conversation. You don't know, as soon as you have that conversation, and as soon as they say one thing that makes you realize what you've been dealing with, you begin to open up a door. You begin to see a light. Things begin to change. It begins to change because you came into contact with something. You were told something that you didn't realize. It was amazing how I was told something in my first counseling session. And listen, let me be honest with you. Let me keep it 100 with you. Man, I cried like a baby. I ain't gonna lie. I did. Because I was shown something, or something came out of me that I didn't know what I was dealing with. Like, I ain't know I had this type of, I ain't know I was dealing subconsciously and subliminally. I didn't know I was dealing with this type of pain. I didn't know how my past had affected me. I didn't know, I didn't see myself a certain way. I didn't feel a certain way. So this thing, this is the thing. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to pop? Are you going to break? Are you going to go off? Are you going to lose your home? Come on, brothers, y'all talk to me. And for some of y'all brothers that's hearing this right now, I need you to share this with, especially share this with somebody, man. Y'all share the vision. Y'all share this video. Because they want to hear it from a perspective of somebody that look like them. So some of the excuses that are, because we can't keep going into emotional overload and not knowing why. Our marriages are failing because we don't know how to deal with our emotions. Men are, man, look here, we just as emotional as women are. Men are just as emotional as women are. We just do it different. We take ours and we press it in. And then after we press it in for a while, we keep pressing it in. And we drinking and we smoking or we doing whatever those copes are doing. But eventually that thing come out. And when it comes out, it's always worse than we ever thought. And what I'm talking to my brothers, my young brothers tonight, what I'm talking to my brothers tonight, my age and older, my brothers tonight, is listen. Go head on. So somebody said to me, man, well, what I want to go spend some money on some counseling for? Why I want to pay somebody, what's going on, Marlon? Why I want to pay somebody to sit and listen? What they really gonna do? Let me tell you something. There is no value that you should ever put on your mental stability as a man. You shouldn't do that. This is the thing about it. Honestly, when it comes down to it, they even have free counseling now. You ain't got to spend no money, man. But what's happening is right now around you, we got too many people that ain't got no job. Talking about a $1,200 stimulus. Come on, man. Folks is about to lose it. And so it's getting worse and worse. And who's being drudged in? So that's it. We don't trust counseling. We don't want it. We don't trust it. And we don't like it. And we don't like it because we don't want to be vulnerable. We don't like it because we don't want nobody in our business. That's the big one. I don't want nobody in my business. I don't want nobody in my business. We need to get some people in our business. We need to go ahead on and tell somebody, man, this is how I'm suffering. And this is what's going on with me. Because that lady that's next to you that's praying for you, and she can see it, and she see you jumping in your dreams like you got post-traumatic stress. And for some of y'all, it's like post-traumatic stress because you've been through a lot, but you ain't talking about it. Imagine a man that was abused most part of his life up to 12 years old. And I ain't talking about sexual because that happens too. But just abused, mentally, physically broken. And then one day he graduates high school. He graduates college. He's walking into success, but something has not happened. He has not dealt with those years of brokenness. And he starts this family. And he has these kids now. And you know what start creeping up? The abuse. And you know what abused people do? Abused people become abusers. Abused people that have not dealt with the abuse properly become abused people. People that have been abused, that watch their mothers get beat up, turn around and do the same thing that they saw done to their mothers. Abused people become abused people. So we need counseling. When we've seen these things, we need it. So this is the thing, man. Listen, you done saw way more than what you thought you saw. As a matter of fact, You have in you way more than what you thought. You're dealing with some aggravations and some agitations way bigger than what you think you're dealing with. So in your mind, man, I'm just dealing with the bills. Man, I'm just dealing with my house. Man, I'm just dealing with this and I'm dealing with that. And it's so much more. No, you dealing with that little boy. You dealing, brother, come on. You dealing with being locked up for years and you still ain't talked about it. Boy, something happened to you when you go to jail. You know, listen, in our community they talk about it like it's a prize or you done graduated. It's crazy. It's crazy. Y'all give me some thumbs up where y'all at, brothers. I know y'all heard this conversation before. So you go to jail and listen, and I know and look, this is why I'm having this conversation. We talking to people on all levels. We talking to CEOs, we talking to pastors, we talking to brothers, we talking to little brothers, uncles, we talking to everybody. Because we done had these conversations where you came up, it was a strike. It was a strike that got put on after you went through the jailhouse. Now you got a strike. Come on, Tommy, y'all talk to me. Come on. Now you graduated to something. Can I tell y'all what happened to me? What happened to me is before I wasn't innocent and I wasn't crazy, but after I came out of there, I had a hatred and I had an anger like I didn't have all the 20 years, all the 18 years of my life. I went in when I was 18 years old. I had a hatred and something was put inside of me. And that something that happened to me was a part of my makeup all the way up into manhood. And it took me, watch this, it took counsel through the counsel from men to drive a love in me to drive out the hate. But I've still got stuff that I'm dealing with. It ain't gonna stop. You need to have that conversation. You need to have that. Listen, because you just like the one that you just like a brother that done been through a war that's dealing with post-traumatic stress that ain't had a conversation. For some people, one conversation. What's going on, Dante? For some people, one person has a conversation, and the next thing you know, man, they good. They good. Some people, they take a conversation after conversation, and that don't make us. Another thing is, and it's kind of funny, y'all. It's kind of funny. My first counseling, I was like, man, I don't want this man to tell me I'm crazy. I mean, look, I'm being honest. I'm like, is he finna tell me I'm crazy? Is he? Because I'm talking and I'm kind of looking at him while I'm talking and I'm kind of waiting. This man finna say something crazy. But at the end of the day, he was able to get me. He was able to make me say something that brought something else, that brought something out of me, that was able to help me through my place. A lot of times as a people, we're always worried about making the shot that we ain't never took. We always worried about making that shot, and we always worried about making shots that we ain't never took. Perfection comes by progression. It means that, listen, little brother, it means that you got to stop trying to do the same thing, and you got to try something different, and you got to have conversations with your homeboys when you getting high, and other with your partners when y'all drinking, because they're not saying anything. You know why? They're not trained to. They're not trained to ask us questions that we need. And even though we have some beautiful people in our life, they're not trained to. If you deal with it, and listen, if you deal with it, and I see you, Dante, Dante said he was severely depressed, but he went to a therapist. Thank you for saying that, Dante. Thank you. It takes a man to reveal himself. Listen, Because we can't keep doing the same thing expecting different results. Look here, your wife, your fiance, they want you to be healed. Your mother, they want you to be healed. Because this is what I saw. This is what I saw with some bouts of depression. They come in like cycles. And some people can be depressed for a day. Some people be depressed 3 days. Some people go 30 days. And it comes in cycles. And then it's like a curtain is lifted, and all of a sudden they're good. This Pastor Fred, God's man on deck. And in order to be the husband, the father, the man that you need to be, you have to have a healthy mental life. And you are up against some stuff. Bernard said he was unloved as a child. Do you know what that does to a person? Do you know what that does to a person? When you go through that, I remember being kept by somebody and just hearing them saying all kind of stuff to me, and it stuck in my head. And listen, and this is the thing about it. They didn't keep me all the time. It was just like one time that I stayed around there. One time. And they said some stuff to me, and it messed, and it always made me, and I was talking to, I had a conversation with my fiance about that. I found myself always feeling less. I found myself always, I couldn't do enough. I couldn't be enough. I always felt like I was the man out. So you know, and it messed with me, because as a child I grew up to this teenage and still feeling that same way. Then a young adult, still feeling these same feelings, always just feeling like you ain't measured up, and it happens because, you know, one time somebody just told you ugly. Or you ain't gonna never be nothing, or you ain't going nowhere. I know, he ain't gonna live to see what I mean. It's some stuff that was said to us as children. Those things became a part of our mental buildup and our capacity. I'm getting ready to go. Don't make this about pride. Men, I'm telling you right now, because right now, the main thing that I dealt with when I start seeing this, the main thing, penitentiary is still filling up. Because we ain't mentally healthy. Yeah, a lot of that ain't just people just wilding out. That's people that don't know, that have absorbed a whole lot of pain and don't know what to do with it. That's what that is. The graveyards is filling up. You ain't never seen or heard suicide in the black community like you've seen it in these last 20 years. Look at it. Do your own research. No, that ain't something we dealt with. We weren't folk that killed ourselves. No, that didn't happen. But as the systematic manipulation started happening, and they was able to penetrate, we're seeing suicides in our community like we ain't seen it. And we're not talking about poor people, we're talking about all people. What COVID-19 did, it put everybody on the same level. Everybody on the same level. So I'm getting ready to go. This Pastor Fred, God's man on deck. What I really need for you to do, I need for you to go to www.godsmanondeck.com. I need you to register. Ladies, what I need for you to do, that son, that brother, that father, that uncle, especially these videos will be up there. Somebody put up there, domestic violence is high. Why is domestic violence high? Because somebody doesn't know how to deal with frustration. And when we don't know how to deal with frustration, it comes out another way. I am not a perfect man. And the more I allow myself to dig out stuff. What's going on, Marcellus? What's going on, Rap? I see you. the more we allow ourselves, we can get some of this stuff out of us. Because there's a lot of men, 45, 50 years old, we still dealing with 10 years old. We still dealing with 13 years old. And we need to have a conversation. And that conversation can't come by Jay. Our conversation can't come by Cavassier or Patron or whatever you drink. If you can't agree with me with nothing today, come on, let's tell the truth. The bottle ain't solving. You still just as mad after the bottle. As a community, if we want to build it, because that's what we're talking about. As a community, if we want to build a healthy community, we got to start with ourselves first. And as men, what we had that we don't have now, I'm starting to see, we definitely starting to see a difference. We have a lot of men that are definitely in their children's lives, or in our life, because it ain't even children at this point. At my age, I still need mentors. I need people in my life, but I can't make those mentors. I can't expect for them to do what the therapist's gonna do. I can't expect for that to be done. So listen, we're dealing with some real stuff. We still gonna win though. Shout out to the family of Ahmaud Arbery. Thank God for what is going on with that case. We got to keep praying until they are convicted. Convicted. We got stuff going on. Do you know what that do you know how that psychologically affected? I know how it affected me when I saw the video. I wasn't just angry. We saw somebody shot down like they was hunting a freaking deer. So what happens to a little boy that the mother or the father is not paying attention, and they're showing this video, and the man that shot down looked like them? We have so many psychological scars as a community that we have to deal with, but we got to reach out. The one thing about it is, yeah, I do one-on-one. I do one-on-one, man-to-man. I do man-to-man counseling. But there's some areas in counseling that they're going to take a professional, because see, as a man, a husband, a father, there's some things that we have a conversation about, and it's vital, and it's vibrant, and it's helpful, but then there's some deep places of depression where you need a therapist. Because we want you to win. Yes, sir. We want you to win. No more going to jail. Hey, Michelle, no more going to jail. No more thoughts of suicide. No more thoughts. It's time for that stuff to come at you. Again, we're dealing with people on every level. This is Pastor Fred. This is our man-to-man. Pastor Fred, God's man on deck. This is our man-to-man. Listen, we love you. We praying for you, brothers. I want to see you. Y'all get ready for the first God's man on deck conference in Charlotte. I want you to be a part of that. I want you to be tuning in. I want you to inbox me on things that you want to talk about, because this is what this is. This is a conversation corner. And I know women peer in, and they should, because it can help. But this is geared to helping black men, especially because we have to build back up there's nothing wrong with building up our community, getting our men back right. But some of these conversations had to be had. It's not a thrilling one. It's not one everybody want to talk about. And I'm telling you, you're going to go to suggest it to somebody, and they're going to feel like, man, we got to do this. All I'm going to ask you is this. This is what I ask you. One session. Well, I ain't got the money. Then fight, because listen, there are people out there that have grants to do free counseling. They have grants, meaning they are already paid. They're already paid. One session, man. One session. Now that's that one-on-one. I want to talk to you husband, or you that's a fiance. One session. Somebody put a number up there. Somebody put a number up there that you go back and check in the screens. There's a number up there, and I'm hoping that number's for free counseling or counseling, but check that out. And listen, now I don't know who that number is, so you got to do your own homework. But right now we're building a community. One session. I challenge you to do one session before you just throw it off. Because man, you depressed. And to this husband and to this fiance, listen. Why not counseling for you and the wife? It's not about somebody telling us what to do. It's about somebody else from the outside hearing the conversation, asking questions that we probably wouldn't ask ourselves, and making us answer those questions where we hear ourselves. I hope you caught that. I don't want nobody in my business. You ain't finna have no business if it keep going like this. You ain't finna have no marriage. You ain't finna have no relationship. And definitely, I would tell any man that's getting ready to be married, please go to premarital counseling before you get married. Please do premarital counseling before you get married. Hear that? Please do it. Don't go into something because you think you know. Listen, if you want to win, you and the other person got to be able to fight together to get to the end to be able to do it. That's what you got to do. If you want to win, that means it takes somebody else to get in the room with them and say, you know what, well, you still, and they can see stuff in us that we can't see. So to you couples that have not got married yet, brother, because this is man to man, I'm putting it on you. We got to stop being the ones that can't make certain things or won't make certain decisions because of pride. Pride is deadly. Pride is deadly. It's one of the deadliest sins, and it'll kill us dead if we keep on going. We got men of pride that's committing suicide, that committed suicide because they couldn't see another way, and there was no one that they said would even be able to talk to them to get them out of it. Pride makes us keep our depression and oppression closed in because we don't want nobody to think that we weak. Pride. But pride comes before a deadly fall. Deadly fall. That's what pride does. So I want to encourage you. This is Pastor Fred, God's Man on Deck. Again, I want you to go and register. Y'all do that for me. Somebody put that in the comments up there. Go to the website and register. And what I really need for you all to do, I need for you to do a watch party with this. Take this video and do a watch party. Yeah. Do a watch party with it. Play it again. And then share it with some people. And there's some people that's in the comments right now that are counselors. Check them out. Do your homework. See where they at. I can neither affirm or confirm anyone that's in the feed that says they're a counselor. I can't do that because I don't know them. What I can tell you to do is talk to them, inbox them, have a conversation, see where it goes at. Do some homework on them. All right, I'm getting ready to go. And everybody needs somebody to talk to that's a little above them that can help you again, speak to you so you can hear what you're saying and then say it back to them. All right? This is Pastor Fred, God's Man on Deck. This has been a man-to-man. This has been the man-to-man, and we love you guys. All right? I'm a pure-hearted man in a cold-hearted world, and this is life. And life sometimes, people, can be extremely difficult and extremely challenging, and sometimes we just need somebody that will sit and that will listen to us and help us to see how to navigate through these difficult times. We love you. Peace.